Hey, Tim Sykes here. Just want to recap Friday. Absolutely incredible day for my students. I think it was a record day in terms of the number of students who profited, the number of plays off which to profit, and most importantly, the number of students who are finally getting it, that these patterns are playable. You can trade the volatility. I know it looks scary. I know most people say stay away from penny stocks. They're crazy. They are somewhat predictable. It's not an exact science, but lately it's been very easy to profit off these morning spikes. Here is KONE, the latest supernova, to go from 2 all the way up to 13, and it finished at 10-ish. This was after OPTT did it earlier a few days ago from 6 to 15, and they're like under SEC investigation. They're getting delisted. I mean, these are not good companies, and it just doesn't matter. GBR was also the biggest spiker on Friday, and I caught a little of CLNT, which was not one of the absolute biggest, but in this market, it's not that bad to be second fiddle. It was still up 50% on the day. It's funny that 50% doesn't even make it into first place. TCCO, I actually missed my buy order here at 520. It spiked too quickly, which is fine because within 2 minutes, by the time, even if I had gotten executed, by the time you would have gotten the alert, it would have been $2 a share higher and I would have been out. So people would not have been happy with that alert. The good news is I picked this one and CADC pre-market. If you were in the chat room, both of them spiked. Even though I missed my personal executions, the alerts were there, the chat room was there. I got to give props to so many students. Before we get into more stocks, record number of tweets. I count 50 plus tweets of people who banked on Friday. My students, some of them bigger than others, it doesn't matter. We all start somewhere. Here's Price Action Man, 40K profits milestone in 21 weeks, roughly $2,000 per week as a trading challenge student. And he's thanking me, Tim Grattani, Michael Good, and Mark Crook. All four of us give live webinars to trading challenge students, in case you didn't realize. Here's Brett. This was the first tweet of the day. I woke up to this. He sold KONE pre-market. Just awesome, making nearly $9 grand. And he studied his butt off, and now he deserves it. Here's Wyatt. He also made 9,500 on GBR. So GBR, TCCO, CLNT, and KONE were the big spikers on Friday. I caught a piece of CLNT for a few hundred. Oh, and then DRYS was my overnight play. This didn't spike that much, but it was still a 20% winner, from my buy entry and pre-market. I didn't get up early enough to get out in the 70s. This was, you had to get up really early. Early bird got the worm there, but I still made $2 grand. Wyatt, awesome job. Congratulations. Thank you for the screenshot. Here's Rich, made 1,100 in 8 minutes on TCCO. This is the trade that I wanted to do, but this was quick. He bought it in the 4s and sold it in the 7s. Just a small position, but when you risk $1,000 and you really bank some good money, that's awesome. Here's Michael, made 1,800 on the day. Ryan, he's buying DRYS at 56, selling it at 62 and 67. It wasn't one of the biggest winners, but it's solid profits. Here is Eric, made 1,300. Chad made 700. Zach, first $1,000 profit, and now he's up 2,000 the past 2 days. So that's pretty sweet. And he caught TCCO, and he bought it at 580, sold it at 7. Good job there. This guy, Habitual Lair, cute screen name. He was in 425 pre-market, out at 620, and he made nearly $1,000 before his first cup of coffee. Here's Michael Nito. You can see here his name. He got in GBR, made $500 literally in 1 minute. That's just how quickly these stocks are spiking. And I didn't even trade GBR. Here's Oblivion Bear, made $395 on KONE. I'm going to go through all of them because you got to see all the different angles and students who are getting it. Doug, awesome job making $373 on GBR. Don't feel bad if you sell too soon. These stocks are scary. You're making 10%. This guy made 125. Bankatronic made 112. Doesn't matter how big or small you're trading as long as you're learning. Here's Lee Smith making 667 on TCCO. Chris made $90. Apizit, awesome job. Nearly doubled his money on GBR on the dip buy. Kyle made 280 on TCCO. There's more. Just wait. I have all these tweets. It took me hours to organize because I'm so proud of you guys. Here's Ismit, and he says, "Oh my God, this is real. I made my $750 today, my first 750, but almost had a heart attack." It is scary trading them. So you got to be prepared and you got to go in with a plan. Here's Ty. Awesome job on TCCO. Got in at 590, out at 690, and then made like 20 cents a share on tops. Don't feel bad if you sell too soon. Again, you're taking whatever you can and whatever you're feeling comfortable, and you're learning. You're going to get off much better in the long run when you learn on every trade. Here's Royal GX, supposedly in on KONE in the 1s and out of the 12s. I want to see a screenshot with this, and that's what I said. Some of you guys have been posting screenshots. I appreciate it. Ryan, awesome job, nearly doubled his money on this. And I know some of you guys personally, I see you in the chat room, so that's cool. Here's Andrew, made 1,400 on NFEC. I didn't even have this on my radar. There's literally just way too many spikers, but this was a second day spiker on this one. Richard, good job buying GBR at 280, selling it at 340, making $100 on a small position. Here's $300 by James on GBR. Here's Alex, made $300 in 7 minutes. You guys are realizing morning spikes work right now. Here's Dan, look at this, made $2 grand on OPTT. OPTT, continues. Despite all the bad news, it's still spiking off the lows. So this is a nice little number 5 pattern from my 7-step penny stocking framework DVD. And, you have a $4 a share bounce off the lows right at support here at, 775-ish. So again, it's not an exact science. It actually cracked 775 and went down to 720, but right here when it double bottoms here at 8-ish, that's a fantastic midday runner. It's not even about morning spikes anymore. So you got to be just ready for dip buys, ready for morning spikes. The odds greatly favor buying right now. Short sellers galore are frustrated, and they should be. I'm buying most of the time because that's just where the risk reward is. Here's Alex, banked on AMD. Pizit got in again on GBR, and he made 4,700 today. Or this was Friday. Sam, good job making 50% on GBR on the day. There's more. I got to show you all of these. Here's Trey, first full day with me and made 874. Congratulations, Trey. Buddha, nice job on DRYS and banking on CLNT. CLNT I was buying in the 120s twice, and I sold it around 140-ish, a little too soon. It actually went to 180. Then I dip bought it in the 120s, and now it's in the 160s after hours. So, you have multiple opportunities. Here's Vincent. He's up 640. Varun, it was his dad's birthday earlier this week, and he's banking now another 1,400 on Friday. Joey doubled his money on GBR. Townsley, good job. 2,600 yesterday and 1,200 on Friday. GBR, KONE, SPU. Oh, SPU is running too. Remember, I bought this one at 5 right in here. I was really early. I had no idea it was going to triple. I was out at 6. I was happy with, my nearly $1 a share. Little did I know that it would be $10 a share over 3 days. That's the kind of insanity that this market is going through right now. Evan Schlang made 225 in 3 minutes. Here's KT, made $4 grand on KONE. Good job, KT. Good patience, good timing. Here's Eric. He's done on the day. He made 1,700. Octangus made 87% by a mistake because SureTrader sucks, and I agree. Here's Pete. I haven't used them in years, by the way. A lot of you guys are asking, what brokers do I use? I just use Interactive Brokers and E-Trade. Winter is coming. Remember, I would not have any offshore brokers or questionable brokers or small brokers or prop firms or hedge funds. I'm sticking with multi-billion-dollar brokers because, again, I want to be prepared. I think that, winter is coming if you watch Game of Thrones in the brokerage industry. I don't know, but I just have a feeling. Here's Pete with TOPS. TOPS ran again. Remember, I was buying this in the 2s the other day, and I was buying it in here, and I got a lot of hate. Then it went to the 4s the next day, and now, on Friday, it nearly touched 5. So awesome job to those of you who bought TOPS. This is a good buy at 328 and selling at 380, making 50 cents a share. Here's Ames. CLNT, small profit, small account, but that's fine. Here's Crimson Tides. And, I'm going to keep going through this just so you understand. I have hundreds of students And this is from this chat room. I like posting not just about the profits that students have, but alerting other students. You know, at 9:04 a.m., if you were in my chat room, you would have seen this from Ryan Brown, and he's looking at TCCO up 44%. So, you know, you're looking at pre-market winners for signs that they might spike at the open. Ryan Brown nailed it. Here's 0317 trader. I love this. Getting Rich 91 made 500 in less than 2 minutes on CADC and KONE. BJ Tap banked on DRYS. Drinkman made over $2 a share on KONE. Decon 271 says TCCO was ridiculously fast. Correct. Alerts are no good in this market. These stocks are moving so quick, you have to be prepared. And that is why I have so many video lessons, webinars, and DVDs so that you can learn from these spikes. This is not the first time these spikes have happened. It's not the first time that we've seen so many supernovas, but you do have to be prepared. So use the weekends, use night times to study and get ready. Here's Architect. So this is 9:35 a.m. Within 5 minutes of the market open, this thing has gone from the 4s to the 750s. Matt Bastard made 140 on DRYS. Major Hitman made nearly $1 a share on CADC. Look at this, nearly $3 a share on TCCO in the first 7 minutes of the day. Here's Matt, you know, making, oh, did I post it twice? My bad. Here's Dr. Walcher making $1 a share on KONE. BP Express made 138, not bad. And it's not what you wanted, but you take it. I didn't want to just make 2,000, but I'll take it. You have to take what the market will give you. I would have loved DRYS to continue, but it was fading pre-market. That was a bad sign, so I got out. Fadster made a nice 25% on TOPS. Yardy on Wall Street banked on TCCO, made a few hundred. This one, oh, I copied this one twice too. Ugh, I'm all over the place. There's way too many people. Here is N Cruz in TCCO at 720, out at 760. B Jones made, you know, a few hundred, 500 bucks it looks like on tops. Chris Carley made, you know, $2 a share, 1,600 bucks on KONE. Yardy made, did I copy and paste this again? Ay, what's going on? I'm sorry about that, guys. I knew there was a lot, but there's no excuse. I'm exhausted. Give me a break. Here's Lucas, made 200 bucks on TCCO. Now he's heading into work. You can do this before you go into work too. Remember that. Here's Eddie. I love this, making $2,500 combined between DRYS and KONE. One day, thanks to him for all the training. I'm hella new here. It's okay if you're hella new. What does matter is if you are hella prepared. And it sounds like you are, because I didn't trade KONE at all. So you did that and you're self-sufficient, and that's fantastic. KRN Jason Kim made 400 for the day. Rampage made $4 a share on KONE, $4 grand. Good job. Chad made a quick 700. Savoda made 230 on GBR. Get this. Here's a number, a guy with a screen name, and he made nearly 50 cents a share. CADC spike was so quick. He was in at 465, tried to sell it at 565, then tried to sell it at 550, back down to 5 before execution. And he still made 35 cents a share. DJ Van Ryan made 10% on DRYS. Stefan made $1.40 on TCCO. El Pal made nearly $1 a share on TCCO. Mike Lights, good $500 in literally 2 minutes on a small position. Volition made nearly 10% on CLNT. Steve Christmas made 10 cents a share. Chad made 175 bucks. FX Trade made some money. Sangsta made some money. This is awesome from Luke Kennedy. Another day in the books, another 33,500 in TCCO, $21,000 profit in GBR, and 6,500 loss on KONE. And a lot of people don't believe Luke. Well, guess what? He actually emailed me screenshots. And now he's up, I think, like $400,000 or $500,000 since becoming my student. And, you know, he's going to post everything when he hits 1 million. I want him to post now. So if you want Luke to post, leave a comment. Let's try and get him to do it. You know, it's not fun or easy to be fully transparent, but it helps the community, and you guys got to get inspired. You know, this stuff is possible no matter who you are if you study. Here's Jess, 855 on 3 trades today now to go enjoy the day. To-do Garcia made 200 on GBR. Jer West made nearly $1 a share on TCCO. B and C made 40 cents a share on GBR. I love this. Chris made his rent money overnight on DRYS. And remember, DRYS was not even the biggest spiker. Here's the first trade on TOPS, making nearly 10%. GBR, first $1 a share trade. Good job. I don't even usually make $1 a share. Here's AAKS making, what is this? 65 cents a share on 250 shares, so a little over $100. That's okay. If you invest 600 and you make 100 in an hour, that's damn good. Avery Wong nearly doubled the money on GBR. Here's Ferrucci trading in and out many times and making $600, and he's done for the day in the first hour. Avery Wong also says, Tim, I so appreciate your strategy. It's my 3rd week, and I made money from your lessons. Awesome, Avery Wong. Here's the Saint, made 117 on tops. Slicks made a few hundred on GBR, in the 2s, out in the 4s. Awesome job. Smiley was in at 3, out at 475. Evil Trader made 30 cents a share. T2 Duray made $300 gain before going to work. And I like that. And he says, Maraming Salamat. Thank you in Filipino. Well, I don't know how to say you're welcome in Filipino, but that's what I want to say. Here, TCCO also, I should mention, if you miss the morning spike, I don't recommend it because these stocks can go very far, but you can actually short the morning spikes. This is classic Tim Grittani style, and there's $2 a share, $2.50 a share of downside shorting that. But do beware, if it doesn't come back, it can have a follow-up spike. Midday spikes have been very popular. CLNT, I was in on the morning spike right here on this one, but the bigger spike happened at 11 a.m. That's not usual, but in this market, that's what's happening. SMIT had a big spike here at 1:30 and came all the way back down. So there's money to be made on the way up and on the way down there. Tops, has been, you get the morning spike up to the 4s, and then a nice little 50 cent a share dip, and then you got another $1 share rip. So, you can go both ways. It's pretty fantastic. Although again, I'm really a fan of going long as opposed to shorting because, I know some people who don't believe me about, what these companies are capable of. I mean, I know some people that are literally short SPU, and I'm like, I wouldn't short it. And if I did short it, I would cut losses quickly. But I was buying this in the 5s. And I know some people were shorting it in the 6 or the 7s being like, oh, Sykes pumped it. Well, guess what? Now it's up nearly a triple. So you have to understand that these stocks are spiking whether I buy them, whether I alert them or not. I did not touch GBR. I missed TCCO. I missed CADC. I did not touch SMIT. I caught a little bit of CLNT. I caught a little bit of DRYS. I haven't even touched KONE. So you can recognize this upside or you can ignore it. And if you ignore it, I think that's your loss. If you bet against it, be very careful, please. Okay, I don't want anybody blowing up their accounts in this market. All of these stocks will be good shorts eventually, but we will know when that happens, when the volume starts fading, when there's a little red action. Right now, I think it's just suicide or potential suicide to short because you just don't know where the top is. Here's Relives in GBR in the 2s, out in the 4s. First ever trade. Relives, congratulations, but this is not going to be every single trade, so don't get cocky after your first trade. That's awesome, though. That's a good way to start. G. Herrera made first $100 profit. Muskoka made 400 on GBR. Asabio made 300 on GBR. Bjorn made $1.50 a share on 800 shares, so a little over $1,000 profit. Garp nearly doubled his money in GBR. B. Feld, awesome job, my first $1,000 day. Congrats, B. Feld. I love hearing that. I know how hard you've studied. And here are a few more. Victor was in on CLNT and TCCO, and you're learning. Issa is on fire, made his first $750, but to tell you the truth, almost had a heart attack. That was the one that tweeted it also. Here's Ken, made nearly 300 on CLNT, traded it much better than I did, had much better patience. So good job there. Chechen made 270 on OPTT. XCOM was another spiker. I totally missed this one. There's just too many plays. Oh my God. It's pretty freaking crazy. So good job there, CA Trader. This was Wyatt, and he's a challenge student, but he tweeted the 9,500 in profits. And then some more. Marcos in GBR making 35 cents a share. V. Nick made nearly $1 a share on GBR. S. McDonough made 50 cents a share on GBR. Trader Chef banked on SMIT. Miracle made 786 shorting these runners with small positions. Again, Miracle, just please be careful with that. Ari Wong made another 50 cents a share in the afternoon. And then, this is an hour later. I posted these because at 217, Miracle was up 786. And then an hour later, they're shorting more and making, now over $1,000. And there's more. I mean, I could keep going. Stizzy Renz banked on AMD 2,300. It's by Laura made 2,300 on KONE. And Elf Owl, I like this comment just to wrap everything up. Killer week. Thanks, Tim, team, and chat room. Have a great weekend. So I just wanted to share all these to give you a sense of how many students are actually profiting. CARA was another one, and how many plays there are that are spiking. You need to be prepared. You have to be taking advantage of this stuff. I don't know how long it's going to last. I am looking forward to it slowing down. I'm looking forward to when the momentum starts to fade and the volume starts to fade, and all of these are going to just get crushed because they're up on literally no news. The only reason why these things are up is because they are low float, low market cap stocks. That's what's hot right now. So you just have to identify the early big percent winners. I cannot stress enough to be in my chat room between 9 and 9:30 a.m. Eastern at the very least. Ideally 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. or maybe even in this market right now, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern, because we're seeing midday spikes too. You don't necessarily have to be there at like noon Eastern or 1 p.m. or even 2 p.m. Eastern, because the afternoon has been a little slower. But if you can be there at the market open and especially at the market close, because a lot of these stocks are good for overnight plays. CLNT, I was dip buying it in the afternoon here in the 120s, 130s, adding in the 140s, and now it's in the 160s after hours. And this has a chance to retest 180. And if it does, it could see 2 next week. I prefer being long overnight because if it does see 2, it could keep going or it might just be really quick. And I know a lot of you guys are under the PDT rule, the pattern day trader rule, which only allows you to do 3 day trades per week. So if you hold a stock overnight, it does not count as a day trade. You can hold a stock overnight every single night. And because these stocks are spiking so much, there's a great advantage to going long overnight, because even if it does break 182, or let's say it tops out at 182, I did bought it, in the 120s and 130s and 140s. So even if it goes to 180 and fails, I still have solid profits. And it's because I'm positioned, overnight. I'm not wasting a day trade, not that it matters. My $12,000 account now is 72, or I think even 74,000 now. I gotta do a catch up, but I made roughly $3 grand on Friday on CLNT and DRYS. Remember, I'm trading with a small account to help you guys understand position sizing and exactly how to grow a small account. My $12,000 account in 7 months has now grown roughly 7 times. That's theoretically impossible. Some people say, oh, it's luck, it's fraud, it's manipulation. No, it's this market, okay? I'm taking small positions and I'm making 10, 20, sometimes 30% here or there. DRYS, I nailed the dip buy. CLNT, I caught a little piece of it. Tops, this is when I tried shorting and I got crushed, and it was just a small position, but this time I made more on my tops long. MGT was a little speculative idea. That didn't really work out. Here I tried a little short on TWER. This was during a live webinar, made some money, and then SPU, I made good money on the long. So again, congratulations to so many of you. If I missed you, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to keep track of everything, and it's pretty overwhelming. It's pretty rewarding for me as your teacher. Do not follow anybody's alerts. Do not follow anybody's picks. Try to do this on your own and try to learn how to make a plan on your own. This is why I teach so much. This is why I have so many videos and webinars and DVDs that you can learn from so that you can be better prepared. But I can't make you watch them. I can't make you learn. I know too many of you just want hot picks, and trust me, that is not the way to making big money in this. You need to have knowledge, and you need to have your own plan and self-sufficiency. That's what all of my top millionaire students have. So I'll see you guys in the chat room Monday morning. Let's get ready for some more craziness. Remember to aim small and miss small. Don't get too greedy, because once you get greedy, that's when the market can really just punch you in the stomach and make you or cut you down to size. So even though it's a hot market, continue selling into strength, continue taking the meat of the move. If you sell too soon, it's okay. Just try and piggyback these moves as best you can. Thank you. I'll see you in the chat room.